And we are live, y'all. Hello, hello, hello. We are letting everybody get a chance to get into the room. Do what we do best with our liking and sharing. It's telling me that we have it says that we are having an issue with it being viewed on the book. Well, I think that we are having an issue with Facebook streaming. But all is well. We can still go ahead and go back in and add it in. And I'm going to do that. And hopefully we can get ourselves back in here. And hopefully it's streaming. Mom, were you able to see it on there? I think we're in. We're in. I was able to fix it. Yay. So, welcome, welcome, welcome everybody into the throne room, the place, the space that we have created for us to be able to purge from our issues, heal from our wounds, and find rest so that we can transform into that which we have been called and created to become. And you all know what that is. That is
Loyalty.
royalty. My name is Monica Jackson. I am your host, and I am so excited to be able to be back here with you guys today. Last week, I was out of the country, I was traveling, and we were having some issues with some technology issues, and Mommy did her thing by filling in.
Mm,
We were so happy with
ran in
what
the
she
bush,
did.
right?
You did an awesome job, Mom. So we are absolutely honored to be able to have you here with us. If you guys didn't know, this woman sitting right next to me, she is Minister Deborah Ivory Chandler, my co-host, my co-everything, and all of that I do. But most importantly, she is who we call mother to everybody here who comes on to the platform. And so we are excited to be able to have her beautiful voice here with us today. How you feeling, Mom?
It's a pleasure. I'm dealing with some eye issues. Look, yeah, this eye issue here, but we're fine. We're fine.
We're
Glad
doing
to be
good.
here and glad to have everyone. Missing Ned and Jackie though,
Yes, and Lady Ford, she should be coming on shortly. She's wrapping some things up, but she should be here
and
with us
and
soon.
excited to for the presence at this table of
Yes,
Jerry Ware.
yes,
Praise God. Praise God.
woo!
Praise God. Honored to be a part of it.
Yes. So, Miss
And,
Jerry Ware,
and as
tell the
you
people about you, yourself.
well, I think almost everybody in Fort Myers should know me. My mother was born here in Fort Myers. I'm 80 years old, so I've been here a long, long time.
Praise
Look
God. Yeah.
good.
And
Yes.
I have been advocating for this community well over 50 years.
Wow.
Um, Getting street lights, getting streets, getting houses built, answering any need that the community call me for. I tell them all the time, my name is Jerry. I'm not Jesus, and I didn't turn
Right.
water to wine, but I will try to help you resolve your issues because we can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And when
Yes.
I wake up
Yes.
early in the morning, I ask God, how may I serve you today? Um,
Mm.
and in this community, most of you all know that I'm a very political person. I'm always asking people to vote, vote, vote. I can register you anywhere you see me because I have my materials in my car at all times. I'm currently running for school board. This is the third time. I ran in 1982.
Wow.
I ran in 2018, and I'm running again. And that is because I don't know whether you want me to share why I'm running now.
Yes.
Um, well, it's because of the redistricting. I don't know how many people are familiar with every 10 years after the census, they redistrict the area. In other words, they take the population and supposedly divided equally. And there's
Mhm.
criteria that they should use so that that map is fair. However, the map that our city county commissioners chose for Lee County again is unfair. It was unfair in 2011 and it's unfair now. Why? Because it divided the Dunbar community. But starting at Ortez, those people have to vote for Lehigh. These other
Mm.
half of us have to be combined with North Fort Myers and North Cape, making it almost impossible
Possible to.
for us to get a candidate of our choice from our
Yeah.
community. And people
Right.
are not aware of this. And that's why I have to keep running because I have to educate my people and say to them,
Mm.
we have got to fight for things. And I'm a I'm a product of the 60s. I went to jail while I was in Tallahassee College marching for voting rights. So that's
Mm.
why I have always been advocating for my people, advocating for children, advocating for our schools, advocating because that is what God called me to do. I call it
Mm.
my purpose in life. And if you find your passion, you'll find your purpose. So I've been found mine
Mhm.
long, long time ago.
Mhm.
That's
So my
Mhm.
children
good.
asked me, Mom, you're 80. Why are you running again? I said, when God called you to do something,
Give
you
you
don't
breath.
question it. You do it. He
Yes.
saved me from a stroke. The doctor
Mm.
said I was lucky, but I told him, don't blaspheme me.
Mm-mm.
He
That's
had a
right.
purpose for my life. That's why I can,
Mhm.
while
Not
I'm
done
clothed
yet.
and in my right mind. Thank
Yeah.
you. I'm not, he might have affected me physically a little bit, but I'm closed and in my right mind, and I'm able to do his will. So
That's
that's
right.
why I'm out here now. I was at the school board last night. This is very, very important. They had a mandate that all parents would have to go on an email address called Focus to get their
Mm-hmm.
children's report card. A
Yes.
lot of our people don't know how
Don't
to
even have
navigate that.
access. That's right.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you. So I went before the school board last night and I said, no, you got to change that. It's unjust. It's unfair. You
Mm-hmm.
should not deprive our parents of the rights to know that how their children are performing. And when you tell them
Mm-hmm.
that they've got to create an email, they don't know how to do all that. They
Yeah.
might not even have a computer. They might not even have a phone with that capability. So
Yeah.
that is what I do. I'm always at city council meetings. I'm always at school board meetings because somebody has to be there to learn what they're doing because they will do things that we don't know anything about. And it's up to us, like me, who much has been given, much is required, to come out and tell my people what's going on. So that's why I appreciate the opportunity for you to allow me to go live and talk to our people. I'm not good at this going live, but I've been trying.
Well, you
You
doing a
doing more than
mighty good
trying.
job there.
Well,
Yeah.
no, but yeah, but you should go on my Facebook and see you don't like die laughing at me because I try my best to tell them about the importance of their vote. Their vote has power. And you
Yeah.
don't just let them tell you because they're a Democrat that they're going to, vote, do stuff for them. And they don't because
Right.
it was Democrats who created that map. The school board did
Yeah.
not have to okay that map. They did not. That was wrong. So our representative, Debbie Jordan, I call her out. She knows I'm not lying, so that's why they don't bother me. Why did you vote for that map? And all of the school board members except Gwen Giddens voted for that unfair map.
Yeah. Well, what I wanted to say was you started the show off in a perfect way. That this being a dream deferred, aka the missed education of a people. And mom, correct me if I'm wrong. I think that this is as we talk about Dr. Martin
Oh,
Luther King's "I Have a Dream" speech, and looking at it on its anniversary, and looking at what Miss Ware just said, that she's been running since the 1980s and how this has been an ongoing
mhm.
feat for her, that this might be a dream somewhat deferred in her ability to actually get in those titles, but it has not been an action deferred, that she's been able
That's a
to
good point.
make ways and make segues into our community and for our community by her actions, her voice, and her advocacy. And I think that that's what's important for me in this conversation is it's yes, it is a dream. It's still a dream, but the dream is only the dream. But then we also have the ability in that hope, as we hope to get to fulfilling the greater dream, that we have the ability to move forward in certain actions now. But we have to become aware. We have to have the knowledge. And so when we look at August being Mental Wellness Month and the intersection of the two, in order for us to get to the place of healing and that mental be mentally well, we have to be willing to educate ourselves on the process. And we have to be willing to listen to those who have a dream, who've decided to pick up the mantle, who've been given the mantle. We have to be willing to listen and to learn. And that the education just doesn't fall on the advocate or the teacher. It has to be both a dual aspect, a dual responsibility in the role of both the student and the teacher, as you and I talked about, Mom, from Dr. King's vision. What do you have to say about that, Mom?
I think as I listen to you, if I can call you Jerry or
Yes,
Miss
ma'am.
Jerry, Miss Jerry,
No,
my
darling,
mother
Jerry.
told me.
Everybody calls me Jerry.
I
I'm call
think
you Miss.
about it takes me back to when you were talking about the redistricting and the redrawing of the lines and how people voted for it. I think one of the things that brings to mind is that so many, and thinking about Dr. King and his when he talked about, I know we were dealing with I have a dream speech, but his views on education as it reflects and relates to the dream and the process of achieving the dream. I think about what you said about the board members. They voted for it. They voted for it. Part of the problem that we have is a lot of times people don't understand what they're voting for. They listen
No,
to the
ma'am.
rhetoric of the propaganda, and they believe that they do not
Yes.
understand the impact that is good,
No,
the
ma'am.
deeper impact that's going to have. That these laws being redrawn the way they are redrawn, the funding, the effect on
Yes.
funding,
Yes, it
the
does.
community needs, the majority community needs,
Yes.
and how that impacts the way programs and school
Yes.
system is going to operate and are structured, and
Yes.
staffing issues, all of
Yes.
those things, busing, how the kids are going,
Yes.
programs are going to be provided, that none of that stuff, they do not understand it. It makes me
No,
think
ma'am.
about as a part of education when they did the passing of the No Child Left Behind, where it was
Yes.
given, and Kennedy and all them, it was
Yes.
this was the document that outlined
Yes.
what the program was. The same
Yes,
thing
ma'am.
comes about when we talk about Biden, even in his economic program that was just passed to deal with
Yes.
inflation. We got a
Yes.
document that looks like this.
Yes.
And they
Yes, ma'am.
vote for it because the buzzwords sound good. But when you start to break it down and recognize that a lot of the components in that thing don't
Yes.
connect with you and where you are. You voted for them, you pushed it. Then when things start to trickle down and happen, you start fighting. Well, we want this, but we voted for that. No, you didn't, because you voted for this.
Yes.
Or you
Yes.
didn't vote for this.
Yes.
This is
Yes.
what we need to get to a place when we talk about education and involvement. There is an intellect that is required, critical, our ability to think and not be
Yes.
cattle and chattel herded along by
And
a privileged few.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
ma'am. Say the word. Say the word. Preach, preacher.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
so when we think about our programs, Jerry, and I know you have this fight. What can we do? Because there's individuals like you who have taken the mantle and understood what it means to fight in your neck of the woods, and that thing that you have been gifted to do, because that thing that you do, everybody can't do it.
Right.
No,
Everybody's
ma'am.
not been endowed with the ability to speak up,
Yes.
to be able to speak power, speak to the authorities that be,
Yes.
and to be able to hold it in a way that demands and garners respect. Everybody can't do that. But how do we do a move within the context of what we have been provided to
It-
equip those who are currently walking with us as our peers and to be able to bring up and equip those who are coming and prepare those who are coming behind us. What do we need to do?
Please. I don't know because I feel that our people are too complacent. They feel
Mm,
that we have arrived and we haven't. They just
mm,
don't know what's waiting ahead for them. And when we get out, those of us who have been endowed with education, as I say, to whom much has been given, much is required, we have to get
Hmm.
together and try to educate our people. Tell them why they need to vote. I get so many young people telling me about, I don't vote. Well, darling, I said, let me ask you a question, sweetheart. Do you get food stamp? Yes, ma'am. I said, do you get help with subsidy with your rent? I
Yes,
said, do you know
voting.
it's people like me who voted for you to have that?
Hmm.
So that's why you need to vote. We have got to
right.
educate, educate, educate. And those of us in the community who have a captive audience, we have got to meet them where they are. And you know it.
Yeah,
You've been a
that's the
teacher.
key.
You got to meet them where they are and
That's
make it
key.
simple, like I did to her, to tell her why she needed to vote. So believe it or not, that young lady before she left, she came back and registered to vote. But that's
Yeah,
what we have to got. We have got to learn to get together and fight this because we can't fight alone. And I'm 80 years old,
No.
so you know I've got to pass this torch. Somebody got to get the torch, otherwise it's gonna get dropped because I can't be here forever. So
yeah,
I'm hoping that we can get young people that we can educate to have the same energy that we had in the 60s to get out there and march and fight for what we want. And stop just letting, I tell them, don't give a person a gun to shoot you with. Your vote is like a gun. When these
Hmm.
people have voted against things that's unfair for done by, why would you vote for them? Why?
Hmm.
Don't.
well,
I
Because they
don't
that's
care
because
didn't
I
who
don't
you
know.
are.
think they didn't listen. They
They
weren't
didn't know.
aware. They weren't in front of the spaces. The spaces aren't in front of them. I don't know if you know, but I can tell you right now that there's a whole community of people who just stand outside and they don't have access to. They have welfare phones and they don't have access to TV or anything else, and they're not
Thank you.
wanting to be involved. They're ashamed to go inside of any particular space, and so they don't feel like they belong, and so they aren't going to vote because they don't feel that their vote matters in the essence of I don't belong. I don't matter. They
Or
connect themselves, their self-worth also to their ability to vote. I don't matter,
I
so it
do
don't
think
matter.
there's another thing too. I think it's problematic, and well, I might be whatever. I'll take it. The
Talk
heat.
about it.
We
Yeah,
vote
take the
this.
cover off.
We can't vote complexion.
Yes.
We're voting complexion too. We can't vote
Mhm.
complexion just because a person looks like you. Don't
Huh.
mean that what they are espousing is going to be to your benefit.
No, ma'am.
So we have to go
Yes, ma'am.
beyond, oh, these are black, or like you were saying, Jerry, Democrat. We go,
Yeah.
I'm voting straight Democrat. You don't know, these
No,
people don't
no.
If we have
necessarily
the
have the
history,
best.
but the knowledge would give you the understanding of the history of even the Democratic Party itself. So again, it goes back to our awareness, our knowledge, the way in which we all pursue our own advancements.
We have to teach them how to research. And if they don't have the capabilities of researching, then we need to research for them. And
That's
say,
right.
let me break it down simple to you, like I did to that young lady about now she could relate to the food stamp and her subsidy. You know what I'm saying? I didn't
Yeah.
try to get in all the other particulars of why she needed to vote. She could
But what she
relate to
could
that.
connect to.
Yes. So she said, okay, I do need to register to vote. And she did. And I'm praying that she did vote. And don't just vote for anybody. And like I get so upset, I'm right out here at the stars right now at Carol Robinson where they're voting. They have got so many of these yard signs out here, people that we don't know and won't ever see again. And I
That say
tell
Mhm.
them,
Democrat.
yeah, and I,
So
you
we're
know what
gonna
I
vote
tell them?
that
Do you
one.
know? Do you know what I tell a mama? That D might stand for dumb, not Democrat either. So,
Right?
so be an
I
educated voter.
love
Don't
it.
let her fool you. Don't so
Yeah.
D might
Absolutely.
stand for dumb. So don't let people fool you, and stop letting them come into your community, putting yard signs in your yard that you don't even know who they are.
That's right.
Yeah.
No, stop it. You're exploiting my people. That's what I tell them. Stop exploiting my people. Stop
Yeah.
and stop
Yeah.
allowing them to exploit you. And I tell them my phone number is out on I-75, I think. If you call me for anything or everything, if I know the answer and I don't, I'm going to seek for a solution. I will tell you the truth and I will tell you why I tell you what I tell you so you can look it up if you want to. And that's what we're going to have to do in educating our people about the importance, about why you matter. You do matter.
Yeah.
You matter. Yes, you do. Christ didn't
Yes,
just put you on this earth for nothing.
that's
All of
Yeah.
the
us
key
have a
right
purpose.
there. That's
Don't we
Yeah.
all
right.
have a purpose? Don't we all have a purpose?
We all have
Yes.
one. One
Different
of the
things.
things, one of the most important things that I learned was that if you really don't know one of the biggest dangers to the democratic process, because the only thing we do is vote for these individuals. After that, we put everything in their hands because they
Yes,
go and do
ma'am.
whatever they want. So we vote for them.
Yes.
They create the laws. We are the republic that follow the laws that they create, and that's what we have to
Yes.
recognize. So it's important that we know something about these people and understand
Yes.
it. If we don't understand, if they have not made themselves clear, and we're not in agreement with something, not to just vote
Don't
a
vote
ticket,
for them.
don't vote at all. Don't You
Don't
don't
vote
have to
for them.
vote for that person because that's an
No, you
area
don't.
that needs to be voted. I don't know anything about you. I don't like you. I'm not voting for either one of you
There you go. I don't
because
like what
you're voting.
I don't like your voting record. I don't like
That's right.
for instance, when that school board voted for that map that they didn't have to vote for, why would you vote for those people?
That's right.
They voted against you. They voted against you. Why would you give them a gun to shoot you with?
That's right.
Your
Don't
vote is
vote.
like
Leave
a
it
gun.
alone.
So what then I will then challenge us to do is to then say, well, if you know that it's wrong and you have an idea as to what it should be, how do we get people to learn to step up to the plates and become their own advocates? How do we get them to become self advocates and connect with another who be willing to carry that mantle for the community? And I think that we oftentimes lose that balance. So we might not vote for anybody because we don't like either one, but then who do we get and how do we find the person who can advocate for us, or where do we get the strength and the support from? Because that becomes another issue,
Which
the
is the
support
lesser
of
of the
people to
evils.
back up, right, to back us. And to help promote us into the space so that we, as the person who knows firsthand what a person is going through, that we as a grassroots organizations and things back these individuals and give them the tools to be able to do it. I know some mamas who's hardcore out here, and if you really gave them the opportunity and look past the fact that they might not have the proper etiquette and language, they would really have something to be able to bring to the table. We just have to be able to get rid of some of our prejudices that
Yes,
we
ma'am.
have.
But we need to make them comfortable. We need
That's
to
right.
make
Yes.
we got to mentor them, put them, you know what you do in the church, you know how the mothers get the young ladies, you know, the
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Titus women, Titus
Mhm.
women.
Yes.
That's what
Yes.
we got to have out here, some Titus women and
That's
men.
right.
Yeah.
And take these young people and try to teach them like I do, saying, look, this is why you need to know this. And this study this. Just look at this little thing and think about it. You are important. You are needed. You can make a
Yeah.
difference in your life, but you
Yeah.
can't if you don't do anything about it.
Yeah. The making people feel important and
Yes,
reminding them of who they are and their
yes,
importance establishes another type of hope, a self-motivating
yes,
hope that then builds the moral character of an individual. It turns it
yes,
around to want to see themselves better. And I know for the last couple of weeks we've been talking about a hope that is necessary for us to see ourselves, that we're okay where we are, but we can see ourselves outside of our present conditions, circumstances, and situations. So although I might be a mother of five and I might not have graduated high school, my voice still matters, and the fact that
yes,
I have children means that my voice matters even
More
more
important.
because they need
yes,
me to be able to advocate
yes,
for them. And so to have a Miss Jerry who walks up to me and say, You got food sent? Your babies go to school over here? Well,
That's
do you know
discernment.
that whoever do whatever? Well, I'm gonna show you how to have some power, right? For to
Yes.
be able to have a Miss Jerry who can come in and say to us, this is how you can gain power and authority
Yes.
without giving away your body, because unfortunately the miseducation is that I reserve my power and my energy and my authority through my body, and that is a real big issue in our community that blocks us from our ability to gain access to the things that we need. I just got to take the cover off on that.
Well, I'm glad you did. Because that, sometimes you can't know all the time. You can't tell people what they want to hear. You need to tell them what they need to hear.
Right.
That's all I got to say. Tell them what they need to hear. I might not be what you want to hear, but you need to hear that. And when I did public health nursing, and young girls would get pregnant at 15 or 16, I said, look,
Oh no, we lost her for a second. We're gonna while we wait for her to come
hello,
back.
Go
You're
ahead.
you have
you're
got to. Did I lose? Did you lose me?
yeah, we lost
Yes,
you.
I'm
We hear
here.
young girls at 16, 15, and 16. You used to tell us what you told them.
When they got pregnant, I said, look, you really have a reason now to live
Yeah,
and to fight for more.
Hmm.
You got to want more. Okay, you've got to want more. You got to want more because you got
Mm,
somebody here that's relying upon you. So don't feel like you have created a useless thing because you haven't. You've not created a crime. If you
yeah,
go before Christ and ask for forgiveness, He's just
you
to
got
forgive
it.
you, and you got to
Yeah,
move on. And
yeah,
that's why I would tell them, now you definitely got to try to finish school. Go and
yeah.
get your GED so you can help your baby.
But Miss
That's why you
Ware,
have to, man.
what you just said was so powerful to me, and it just hit me in the fact that that is what Dr. King was asking us to do, was to want more. He wanted us to have a desire to want
Yes,
more, and that our
yes.
willingness to be able to take ourselves from that one space. So he was trying to motivate us and inspire
To
us
want
to say
more.
we can get it, we can do it. But it's not just about the ability to want more for our individual households or for ourselves, that we have the power and the ability to want more for another person as well.
There you go. But you got to want more for my community. I cannot sit up in the luxury of my house and not worry about those people who are sleeping under the bridge. Yes, it bothers
Mm,
me.
yeah,
I've been
yeah.
over there in North Fort Myers now. They were about to lose their community center. I prayed, I cried,
Mm,
I prayed, I cried, but God answered my prayer. And they came up the money to not let them lose that community center because there's a lot of homeless people over there. There's a lot of people over there on drugs because when I was over there
mhm.
the other day, I had to call my niece who does the Narcan to come over and bring it so that when they overdose, they'll have the Narcan there to treat them. See, that's what
Yeah.
we've got to do. We can't just be sitting up in the luxury of our homes and be happy. We
Yeah.
can't. You can't do it. Because when I see people out there on the street begging for money, I say, oh, but by the grace of God, there go I. So what
Oh,
I do, I
yes.
reach up over my dashboard and I hand them a few dollars. I don't care what they do with it. You know why?
that's true.
Because I feel I
Hmm.
have done what God would have me to do. I can't judge them. I
That's
can't
Yeah.
right.
judge them. I don't know that a couple of dollars might buy them a hamburger. They might be hungry. So that's what we have got to do. We have got to not be complacent. We got to care more about somebody else other than ourselves. Now, Mama, back then, old days, remember how the old people used to say, well, I'm gonna give you a mess of this, I'm gonna give you a mess of this.
Yes.
How we took care of each other. We need to get back to
Go
that.
to the field and pick and pick and pick enough, and then start sharing it with the neighbor. Just bring her big
Mhm.
basket. You need this for the
I
kids, and
remember
snap
that.
off and bring it over.
Yes.
Even from
Yes.
my mother, that's what she used to do.
We
You
did
need some
it.
clothes,
Yes,
you
ma'am.
need whatever. Go through the dark places, the desolate, those immigrant places where the immigrant farm workers were
Yes.
working, and go
Yes,
Yeah.
down
ma'am.
there and see them and see if they needed something, and take it
Thank
to
you.
them. And then go
See,
get the
that's what I
kids and load them all up in a wagon, the station wagon, get an old van, put them
yes.
all in there. Bring them to church, bring them to the center, create some trips or
Yes.
something to take them on.
Yes.
But that's
And
educating.
that's what is showing that we care about each other.
Yeah.
Because isn't that what Christ asked us to do? Love one another.
But that
That's
is
Yeah.
love.
educating. That I think, mom, is where we have to really work on this definition of our misunderstanding about what education is. The
Yes.
educating is not the book smarts. Yeah, I read a lot of books. Yeah, I got a bunch of degrees, but that don't make me smart. That don't make me intelligent. That doesn't make me be able to interact and be in relationship with another person. It gives me an awareness about life. It helps me understand that when I struggle through things, I have an ability to advocate in a different way because I can meet them. I don't want to say, but I'm gonna say it. I can meet the white folks and the patriarchal system where it's at because I
Hello.
can speak the same language as them. But
Hello.
that doesn't give me any better stance in society or any moral greatness than another person who doesn't have that. I just say that it is all of our efforts, our communal efforts, to be able to come together and do what you guys all just said. I went and I picked in the field. I remember picking peas and collard greens and shucking
Mm-hmm.
corn. I made a post one day that you've missed out on life if you never had an opportunity to shuck corn with your grandmother, sit at the feet and pop some open some peas. You've missed out on a great opportunity to be
Yes,
in the
ma'am.
presence of an elder. And I had some people say, I never experienced that. So what does that mean? That means you missed out on an opportunity to get some education and some knowledge and some wisdom. But it all is not lost because we have other forms and mechanisms and ways. That's what the church is supposed to be. The church is not supposed to be the four walls. The church is the mission,
No,
and the
ma'am.
mission is to go out, go
Yes.
ye therefore, and be in the community, to go in and grab. You can't, there's no way to grab somebody if y'all both standing on the same side. There got to be one standing on another side in order to go and grab someone at the gate, called beautiful, for them to be able to see themselves as beautiful. And that's why it's important for us to redefine and re envision what the education system and process looks like for our community. That's why this is
Yes.
important for me.
Because that
Yes,
the
ma'am.
thing is though, Monica, is that you have to be able to move a person from, you were saying, Jerry, to move a person from the place of, I'm getting mine, I'm working to get ahead, and I'm going to beat the
Hmm.
Yeah.
system. I'm breaking generational curses. I'm pursuing my purpose, and my purpose is in me getting further, make economic along economically, and I'm improving things for my family, and that's it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
To be able to get someone to catch fire, to know that it's
Yes.
more than just praying for me, God bless me, give me a car,
Yes.
give me a house, give me,
Mm-mm.
to move,
Mm.
to get that sense, type of understanding, that you have to be knowledgeable. Yes, you need book learning, of course, which is
Yes, you
why,
do.
Sarah, you're running to be on the board, because we know
Hmm.
how important that process is, because everybody doesn't have a Jerry that they can connect with. Everyone doesn't
No.
have a Monica that they can connect with, or a Deborah, or a Lady Ford. Everybody
Hmm.
doesn't have, they don't have the connections and the experiences that we have to fall back on, to relate to, in order to pick up a torch and move forward. And so we're
But you know
talking
what we
about,
say?
what is that?
Prayer of Jabez. Oh Lord, enlarge my territory. Now they don't. They
Hmm.
need to understand what that means. That
Yeah.
didn't mean give you all the money and all the cars and all. No, that's not what it means. When you do the prayer of Jabez, that means saying, "Help me to reach more of your people." That's what I take from prayer of Jabez.
Hmm.
Enlarge my territory, God, that I may go out and reach more and more of your people. I see you, Pastor Ford, looking gorgeous. I see her. Margie was in there. I see you trying to hide, but you know I caught you a few
Uh,
minutes ago. I saw you. I
Yeah, we
saw it.
don't
I
know what
saw it
happened
now.
to her. She popped out,
yeah,
right?
she
Yeah, she
dropped
popped
off.
out, but
Something happened.
well, like I said, I really thank you all for the opportunity to share, and I just look forward to doing this again because I think if we would take this and be able to share it with more people, that this is maybe
Yeah.
the way that we can reach more. I don't know. I
Hmm.
just try to seek every avenue that I can to reach people.
Yeah.
Because I'm right up here at the stars now. I'm supposed to be out there working, but I said, no, I promise Monica I was going to get on this call and
I
I'm going to fulfill
appreciate
my
you.
promise. So
Yes.
I'm gonna have to get off, but I
Yes.
look forward to getting back on with you. And it's my pleasure to have met you, Mom. And
It's a
Yes.
I'm just
pleasure,
looking
my
forward to
pleasure as
working with
well.
you. I'm
Yes.
looking forward to working with you.
Tell us
Yeah,
one thing that you want to leave for the
Yes.
people, Miss Ware. Tell us one thing that you tell the people one thing that you want them to really grasp hold of and know.
Be an educated voter and vote. Be an educated voter and vote. And prayer without work is dead. Sure, you got to have faith, but you got to do something no more than having faith.
yeah,
And
Yeah.
I want my people to feel important. You are important. Don't forget that. And your vote is power and it
yes.
empowers you. So that's what I want to leave it then.
Yeah, and don't give up even when you don't
Don't.
get the end result that you're wanting and you're saying, "Well,
Right
I
away.
did
It's
what she
deferred.
said." Right. I
Well,
did what she said
well,
and I voted for so and so and they still didn't get the office. I don't got no power. See, I told you what it was. Don't get
but look at
discouraged.
me, Monica. I ran for school board in 1982.
I
That's 30
know.
years ago, and I'm
I
still
wasn't even
running.
born yet.
But guess what? Guess what? Guess what? The officer down there at the photo place told me, said, Jerry, you must be a slow learner. I said, no, I'm a committed learner.
Okay.
Right. That's the
I'm a
Mm,
committed
difference.
learner. That's the difference. I'm not a
yeah,
slow learner at all. I'm very smart. I'm smart enough to know that you cannot stop me
that's right.
because I'm going to keep
That's
going.
right.
I've got the power behind me. I know who keeps me going day by day by day. And
Yeah,
Oh,
you all cannot box me in by saying, well, you didn't win the last time. You're not going to win again. I am a winner with Christ at all times.
that's right.
Whatever he places me, whatever happens with this election, that's what God wants me to be.
That's
what he
right.
has
Win,
in
lose, or draw.
yes, what he's implanted in you, Jerry, that fire and passion is the passion. That's the mantle.
Mhm.
Yes,
That's the
ma'am.
mantle. That passion to pass that passion on
Relentless.
and light that fire in another to share with how that fire got lit in you that you were able to connect and run this race and
Yep, that
stay
he put
on the
before me.
journey, not get
That's right.
detoured for all these years.
That's right. And go
See,
keep
that's
fighting for my
awesome. That's
children.
the thing to pass. That's the thing that we need to, if I can bottle up and harness it, Jerry, to pass it on,
I
how
wish I could
valuable
give
it
it
Definitely.
would
to you.
be.
I wish I could give it to you. Okay. But I gotta leave you guys and I'm
All right.
on the game.
All right. Thank you so
All
much.
right. We
All
thank
right.
you
You all
so
be
much.
blessed. Be
You
blessed.
too.
You as
Be
Okay.
well.
Bye
blessed.
bye.
Bye bye. She is a blessing. She was a blessing. And I think that what she's left us with, what you just said, Mom, was, being able to bottle that passion and all that up and to be able to pass it along. She said, I wish I could give it to you, but she does. It's just like Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
That is left with
Because
us.
when you in the
They do
presence,
give it to you, right? I'm not even next to her, but her strength and her energy and her zeal and her zest, like I feel it. I feel her commitment and I look at her and I say, wow, God has graced her, given her the grace and mercy to go through grow through all of those moments that she has encountered. And look at her. God can
and
give
look at
me the same capacity.
the platforms where now a person like Jerry is able to reach larger numbers of people because all of those persons who are listening in, who by chance might
Yeah.
come across and just hear that segment, we don't know when, we don't know
Nope.
where, but to hear her say, you are important,
Yeah.
you matter, your voice matters. And
Yeah.
that is so empowering for us. If we could just catch that and hone in on that piece, that I am important in this process of societal improvement. Am important to moving my family forward. I'm important
Mhm.
to moving my community. forward. I am important in all of my relationships, that I matter. I don't have to cower down
Mm.
because of abusive situations. I don't care what level it is.
Wow.
To be
It breaks
properly
every
educated,
chain.
yes, to be properly educated means I understand my value and my worth. To
Yeah.
educate a person to the place where they understand that, to pour that into them. She said it, she with a 15-year-old mother. We say, oh, teenage
Mhm.
mothers, whatever. But to give
I
that
was
to
a
the
teenage
teenage
mother.
mother, to give to her child, if that's
Yeah.
the only thing that you can give your child, you've given them
Given
everything, and that doesn't
everything.
cost money.
Yes. Yes.
It
Yes.
doesn't cost money for
Yeah.
you to see, to show someone their inherent value, the importance of them rising up and connecting to whatever it is that God called them to be, whatever they've been designed and uniquely built for, their lives' ups and downs, to look at the situations and the places that they're finding themselves in, whatever the problem that they encounter, to be able to catch the vision, to latch
Mhm.
hold of the dream for better, so that they can be able to strive forward towards that. Is it going to be a straight shot? No, but one of
No.
the things that we've brought out here today is that this dream, and I think Chantel talked about it last week,
That's
is a
mhm.
process.
Yeah.
We don't realize it overnight, and we learn to be patient. Jerry said something else that was so critical when she talked about a slow learner versus a
Versus
committed
a
learner.
committed learner. Yes, that was
A
powerful.
slow learner versus a committed learner. Because you grasp information doesn't mean
Mission
you learn.
learned. Right. Right.
Because to be able to learn, okay, it's connected to wisdom and knowledge. You can have
Knowledge.
information, but to be able to utilize that
Understanding.
in a way to move yourself beyond your mindset to a place of wholeness and well-being, you have to be committed to the process, because
Yes.
life is going to continue to throw things at you, one thing after another. This life is not easy. Society, because of the diversity that we encounter in society, every man looking out to fulfill and meet their own
Their own.
deficits.
Mhm. They are
And
one
is that
out for
natural?
themselves.
Because I have a deficit, I'm trying to fulfill that. I meet my needs.
Overcompensate.
Everybody's trying to get their needs met. And a lot of times, because we're different, there's going to be conflict.
Right.
So that we have to be the committed to the process, understand, committed to
Under.
the understanding that we are somebody,
Mhm.
that our value, that we are to be valued. And above all, the value is found in that which we possess is needed by another.
You know, that is an important part of my own journey. That my thought process about myself was, I do not want to become a statistic. I never will become a statistic. And that was my driving force for the reason why I continued to pursue educating myself, because I didn't want anyone to think that I just stopped the buck right there and that I gave up on myself and my ability to be great because I was a teenage mother or because I made certain unhealthy decisions that others deemed were unhealthy. Um, it allowed me to want to know more about me. In the process of me gaining a better understanding of me, I got to see that there were more me's than I thought, and that it was essential for me to continue to pursue my own education because I needed to go back and get me.
Yeah, thank
There,
goodness.
there are
Stay with
13-year-old
me.
me's right now, right?
Yeah,
And I have an obligation to go back and get those 13 and 14-year-old me's. There are even 50 and 60-year-old me's.
right.
And it's my obligation
We
to
put an
say,
age on it, but it's not. There's not an age on this thing.
right, right. And so I don't learn for myself. Alone. I'll say that. I don't learn for myself alone. I learn for myself for others to be able to impact the lives and the legacy, be able to create the legacy for another. My mother's learning became my learning. And when I sit with her and we talk, the learning has now become a legacy. It's become a part of the legacy. And when I sit with my daughter, we have conversations just like these. It has become a part of the legacy.
And
But
my
it,
mother and I had the same conversation.
right,
You know,
right.
Monica, one good point, you made an excellent point there, because the passion and the desire to go on and for a formal to formal education for me, the driving force came because as I learned and began to understand, I desired to know more and wanted more to help and pass the information on to another. As
Yeah,
I began to understand, I wanted to give.
yeah, yep.
That's the power of knowledge
Mm,
and true understanding. Some
see
things can be
outside
learned. I
yourself.
mean, we talk about education and we want to put it on the school system.
We can't.
Yes, and we have to hold the school system accountable. But education starts way before the child enters the school classroom.
Right,
And after they graduate from whatever level it is to go, education never stops.
right.
And we're going to get some things. So we have to learn to balance it because we can't. It's a reading, writing, arithmetic. Yes, so we need
Yeah,
those tools. Why? So that we can encompass them, embrace them, to move us forward in our personal purposes. In order
right.
to be
For the communal,
connect
grand
to,
communal
yes, in order
purpose.
to connect to the needs of the community and to see where we fit.
Yeah,
Because I don't have to be everything. I don't
yeah,
have to be,
everybody.
but I have to recognize the part that I
Part that I
play
play.
and
Yeah,
value that my personal responsibility and not be in a place of deflecting my lack of accomplishment and achievement with and connected to the fact that I don't have the agency, the ability, or the capacity to, because I do have the capacity to make a decision to move myself forward.
yeah,
And it's and two, we need to connect to the Jerry's. What would happen if the young girls that she impacted, the young woman where she talked about the food stamps and getting her to vote, to sign on, to think about the fact of the importance of voting, she needed to be in place doing her part in
yeah,
order for the other to connect to the part and realize the part that they had to play.
yeah, yeah. So I think in summation, we leave education to one space, but our education, we are all responsible for our education. And it's not about blame. It is about equipping and inspiring and instilling hope and encouraging one another to be able to go out and see ourselves as capable of learning and
Yes.
seeing ourselves as being able to move past current situations, that although yes we accept, we're okay with the fact that I'm here because I know that I'm only here for a limited amount of time, so I can stay here grateful, knowing that I'm thankful for what's to come. And we have to take on the responsibility individually to be able to know that that is where our power and our strength and our authority comes from, and our ability to be able and to be willing to step outside the comfort zone, even when we don't think we can.
And the question and challenge, Monica.
Always question and challenge.
Question and challenge to think enough to know that just because, and I know parents are guilty to this, of this, and the kids say, why? Because I said so.
No, it's
Don't
not because I
question
said
me.
so.
Um, that that can be very problematic as an adult.
Hmm.
Yes, there are authorities that exist, but there are some questioning of processes. I'm thinking about Jim Crow laws and
Hmm.
Dr. King. I mean, they could have gone along with it because just go along with it
It
because that was
was.
the law. But you have to have enough intelligence to know, enough fortitude to know that I am somebody. I was created for more than this. I am a part of this, and regardless of what you say and how you perform and what obstacle you present, to me. I am more than this, and I have the ability, maybe not by myself, but collectively. Somebody has to start
Right.
and connect with somebody else and somebody else that collectively we can make a difference in the situation, whatever it is that we're encountering.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. I hope that everyone enjoyed today's show. I enjoyed today's show. I enjoyed the fact that we had an opportunity to connect with wisdom, a fighting wisdom.
Yeah, 80
Um,
year old, right? Fighting
yes,
for 60 some years. She's been fighting this.
yes, that gives me hope. It instills in me more of my dream that I have the ability to see it to its fruition. But even if I don't, that just the spirit and the zeal of what it is that I'm wanting to do, it can touch another and impact
Ignite
another
the
for
fire
them.
in somebody else. Isn't that the
Yeah,
igniting that from Dr. King? That why we are having this discussion today, that because the fire is still lit.
yeah,
And it's like in
that's
the
a big
Olympic
deal.
runners, we talk about the mantle. I'm thinking about the torch. When the Olympic
Hmm.
runners, they're running and that torch, having that torch and running with that torch to ignite light the fire for the next one and the next one and the next one. Pat being
Yeah,
able to equip them and knowing that there's systemic levels,
yep,
but there's also the individual level. And it starts with
communal.
individuals, and then it passes and ignite, catches on to community. But the
Hmm.
individual is so important.
Important in the process.
Yes, we can look outside of ourselves and look to expect for someone else to do and what others didn't do and why this is falling short. You talked about it, Monica. Well, if I say they're not doing it, I can't vote for this one. This one's not to be trusted to vote to put into office. What is my personal responsibility?
Yeah,
I'm responsible to understand. And then those of us who are already in position that we've gone before, because we're at different levels. So I have
right.
a responsibility to those who come behind to make sure that they are equipped to take this torch, to
Hmm.
carry this mantle. That's what Dr. King was doing.
And a
Running with
responsibility
it.
to those who were before.
Yes,
To
because of what they fought for and all the things that they've done so that I could stand in this position now. So I have accountability to who came before and
and
responsible for those who come
responsibility.
behind.
Hmm.
I am important.
Yeah, that's a huge thing. I'm important. That's what all this fight is about, is for you to understand that you are important.
That's
We
where the
are
wellness
important.
starts. That's where community
Yes,
and societal wellness starts. It starts with me.
me, the
Me,
person,
my heart, getting
the
my heart
passion.
right so I can get
Hmm.
my mind right, my mind connecting to my heart so that I can
Yeah,
move in the right direction. Not intellect in schools and put it on school system and education in the school didn't do this and whatever. I had to start to do with my own heart and mindset and realize that I am my brother's, my sister's keeper.
keeper. That's a perfect segue for us to say, join us tomorrow, me and mommy, on Win Win Women Network TV for the Aspire to Higher show, where we talk about the 4 P's: the person, the passion, the purpose, and the plan. All of those things. We're doing all those things for the bonus P, which is the attainment of the peace. We love you all, and we thank you for continuously tuning in. Thank you to all of our faithful listeners. We saw all of your beautiful comments. We thank you for continuing to support us. Like and share. Share this information. Don't just hold it to yourself. That's a part of the educating work. We love you guys, and we can't wait to see you guys next week at 5 p.m. back here in the throne room. Talk to you guys soon. Have a
Mwah.
great rest of the day.